It was a humid July afternoon in downtown Los Angeles. Sidewalks were crowded, traffic snarled through intersections, and the air pulsed with city life. Among the crowd, 17-year-old Andre Molina walked with his little sister Camille, holding a tote bag filled with books and snacks. Camille was 10, quiet and bright, the kind of girl who noticed everything. They had just finished a visit to the public library and were heading toward the bus stop, laughing about the fantasy novel Camille had just borrowed. Andre, tall for his age, wore a black hoodie and carried himself with quiet confidence. He was an honor roll student, co-captain of his school's debate team, and known in his neighborhood for tutoring kids and helping the elderly with groceries. A good kid in every sense, except that to Officer Rick Dalton, none of that mattered. Dalton, a 48-year-old white LAPD patrol officer, had been on the force for over 20 years. He was built like a tank, loud, combative, and known for his short fuse, especially with black and brown youth. Over a dozen internal complaints followed him, mostly brushed aside by the system. That day, Dalton was parked in a squad car near a 7-Eleven, sipping coffee and scanning the sidewalk when he noticed Andre and Camille. He watched them laugh and talk, noticed the hoodie, noticed the brown skin, and decided to act. As they passed the convenience store, Dalton stepped out of his car. "Hey, you two, stop right there." Andre froze. He turned slowly, pulling Camille behind him instinctively. "What's the problem, officer?" he asked. Dalton's jaw tightened. "You match the description of two suspects who shoplifted earlier." "We just came from the library," Andre replied calmly. "I have the receipt right here." He pulled a crumpled checkout slip from his hoodie pocket. Dalton didn't look. He stepped closer. "Don't get smart with me." Andre's hands went up. "I'm not, sir. I'm just explaining." "Turn around. Hands behind your head." "No," Camille whispered, clutching her brother's hoodie. A small crowd began to gather. Phones came out. A street performer paused his act to watch. A barista stepped out of a nearby cafe. Dalton grew more aggressive. "I said turn around," he yelled. Andre stood his ground. "You have no reason to arrest me. We did nothing wrong." "You resisting arrest," Dalton snapped, hand moving to his holster. "You want me to treat you like a threat?" "No, sir," Andre said, voice firm but respectful. "But I know my rights." Camille looked up at her brother, trembling. Andre looked straight at the officer. "And so do you." Dalton stepped forward and shoved him hard in the chest. Camille screamed. Someone shouted, "Hey!" He didn't do anything. That voice belonged to Marisol Vega, a 35-year-old high school teacher who had been watching from the juice bar. She marched forward, phone recording. "He's a child. You can't just assault people because you feel like it," Dalton snapped. "Back off or you're next." But more people began stepping closer. A man in a delivery uniform shouted, "Why is he being arrested?" What law did he break? Dalton tried to radio for backup, but Andre raised his voice, clear, powerful. "I am not resisting. I am not a criminal. You are abusing your badge." Cheers erupted. Applause. More phones came up. Camille, tears drying on her face, shouted, "My brother is a hero." A street vendor offered Andre water. Marisol stepped between Dalton and the teen. "We're not letting this happen today," she said. Dalton, red-faced and cornered by the truth, turned and walked back to his cruiser. The crowd erupted. Cheers echoed down the street. Andre and Camille stood in stunned silence. Someone hugged Camille. Someone handed Andre a card for a lawyer. Marisol offered to walk them to the station if needed, but it was over. No arrest, no violence, just one brave teen, one powerful voice, and a crowd that refused to look away. By evening, the video had gone viral. The clip of Andre standing tall, refusing to back down, filled every feed on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Hashtags like Danner Stand with Andre and Brave Teen Justice began trending. The mayor made a statement. The chief of police announced a formal investigation. Dalton was placed on leave. But the real story was Andre. Invited to speak at city forums and student panels, Andre used his voice not to rage, but to teach. He spoke of rights, dignity, and how courage isn't about fighting back with fists, but with truth. He launched a youth initiative called Know Your Voice, teaching kids how to safely assert their rights and record abuse. Camille designed the logo. Marisol joined as a mentor. The city rallied around them. Dalton's career ended months later when more footage of past abuses surfaced. Laws changed. LAPD instituted mandatory community engagement training and implemented new youth protection protocols. Andre, now a national figure, stayed grounded. He kept tutoring. He helped Camille with schoolwork.